treating friends and family? Look no further than One Mean Restaurant. Our renowned chefs bring you the very best with every bite. And our waiting staff love to provide service with a smile.
Hungry for change? Discover new flavors at One Mean Restaurant. Our diverse menu is sure to have a dish with your name on it. Why settle for less when you could be feasting like an adeptus? One Mean, where life tastes better. Loba! Not again!
Whoa, I could buy my favorite novel.
Trifle obscures, anyone?
Boss?
Maybe I should save it up.
I'm gonna do that. Thanks, boss!
Madame Farazan. Letters from the students.
Thank you for your invitation, Madame Farazan. I've given this a lot of thought, and in the end, I think I'm gonna focus on Kasharawar.
Sorry, Madame Farazan. While I'm very interested in mechanisms and ancient texts, I'm stretched thin as it is. I need to focus on my other classes.
Hey folks, don't place all your yolks in the same punnet. Broaden your horizons today and find a new locus for your focus.
Wait! Surely you can't use persuasion on plants!
Get together with your friends, adventure awaits!
Open fire!
Let's ride! Dissipate!
Bring it! Hear the echoes of the valley!
Go! You're free now!
Pyroclastic surge!
Out of my way! Let's fly!
Locked on! Locked on! Done! I'm going in!
Not too far now.
Let the magic's veins boil! Wrath from the sky! Try and stop me!
Tell me what you see.
Locked on! Locked on!
The Temple of Wisdom! Our bond is strong. Lightning?
Knock him down. Let's have some fun, shall we? Take a seat. Rain of bullets! Take me up! Locked on! Tour's over. Teamwork is
Your journey ends
Go! You're free now!
Letting brave names echo! Bring it!
ready.
Pyroclastic surge! Yeah!
Guess you are qualified after all.
Rise with the finally. Here's the echoes of the valley. Farewell. Embrace the storm.
Everybody stand!
Time to say hello.
Where do you
Light
think
of the
you're
blazing sun. Incinerate. Not too far now.
Letting brave names echo!
Goodbye.
Let's fly!
Open fire.
Locked on!
Let's go.
Locked on! Amazing!
Hold on to your hats.
Hey!
Yeah! Take me up! Locked on! Bullseye!
Open fire.
Let's fly!
Tell me what you see.
Going in!
Wrath from the sky. Farewell. Burn it down.
Bring it! Let the mountain veins boil!
Light it up.
Hear the echoes of the valley!
Go. You're free now.
Everybody stand back!
Pyroclastic surge. Free.
Letting brave names echo! I'm going in!
Farewell. Wrath from the sky.
Hear the echoes of the valley! Let's light it up! Teamwork is...
Tell me what you see. Light of the blazing sun.
Make yourselves a
Let's
move!
get down to business.
This way!
Out of my way!
Check
scary.
Open fire!
Let's ride! That really hurt.
Well, get with me! Ha! Knock him down. Bullseye! Locked on!
Cut down. You weak.
Off we go. Let's shred! Translucent! The Temple of Wisdom! Distance!
Bullseye!
Will.
Locked on! Hold on to the house. Open fire!
Regret.
Lightning terrified! That's up!
Take me up! Open fire! Open fire! Unclave names echo! Bring it!
Not too far now.
Huh? Full throttle! Pyroclastic surge!
Go! You're free now!
Burn it down! I'm going in! Let the mountain's veins boil! Wrath from the sky! Try and stop me!
Be free! Tell me what you see!
Vengeance! Pyroclastic surge! Rev the engine! Hear the echoes of the valley!
Time to say hello. Not too far now.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let the mountain's veins boil! Wrath from the sky! Let's fly! Bullseye! Locked on!
Carving wave! Community memory!
Bullseye!
Yeah, Will.
Fire in the hole!
Check this out! That's an armor! A bond is strong! Here, Leilani! Grow!
Let's fly! Banquet must go on! Locked on!
This way!
Banquet must go on! Banquet must go on! Ha! Bullseye! Bullseye! Knock him down!
Carving wave!
A grand surprise!
free now.
Light of the blazing sun!
Farewell.
I'm going in! Sending brave names echo! Burn it down!
Time to say hello.
Pow!
You can only do so much on your own. But with a... Whoa!
Cannot just rely on the ocean's self-cleaning ability.
Ever tried chasing waves before? You want to try? Well, come on, no time like the present. I'll help you find the closest beach. Need a surfboard? Need a surfboard?
Hey, isn't that Charlotte?
I see. So you believe that this warning letter was sent by the Phantom Weasel?
Absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Phantom Weasel never acts as you expect. He must have faked his own death 10 years ago using a body double. Now that he's back, I'm sure the guards who worked on his case back in the day are in for a headache, but however this turns out in the end, the one thing it won't be is boring.
Couldn't agree more. As a journalist, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of this one. Thank you, sir, for your time. Now, whom should I interview next? Huh? Hey! What a coincidence! Fancy meeting you here. Perfect timing. So, the Phantom Weasel's latest warning letter. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the first time we're hearing of this one. Could you clue us in?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yes, this case is from a decade ago. I guess you wouldn't know about it. Well, not to worry. You're in good hands because I'm a professional. The story goes like this. 10 or so years ago, a phantom thief became active in the court of Fontaine. Known only as the Weasel, nobody knew his true identity, and the authorities never managed to catch him.
Wow, cool! He sounds like one of those mysterious night burglars that you read about in novels.
Precisely. Well, except the part where they actually have a good reputation. Our Weasel targeted whatever people held dear, and no one was safe from his predations. He would just as soon steal a necklace from a rich merchant's safe as he would a toy doll given to a commoner child for their birthday. I know. The phantom thieves you read about in novels rob the rich to pay the poor, but this guy did not discriminate. Unsurprisingly, this didn't work wonders for his public reputation. Every man and his dog wanted to see him behind bars.
Yeesh. So, did they catch him?
Not exactly. There's a good chance that the weasel would still be at large to this day if it hadn't been for an accident 10 years ago. A magician named Caesar fell to his death in a botched high-altitude escape performance. When the police went through his personal effects, they found a hoard of stolen loot and gadgets used for criminal activities. And that was how the Phantom Weasel's identity was revealed to all. Sure enough, thefts in Fontaine went down after Caesar's death. But today, 10 years on, the notorious thief has once again issued one of his warning letters and pasted it on the gate of the Opera Epiclese for all to see. I had to squeeze through the crowd this morning to get a photo as soon as I heard. Here, it's this one.
So, this is the warning letter, huh? Let's see what he wrote. 3 days from now, when evening falls, I shall take from you that which you hold most dear at the Opera House, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
This is, without a doubt, a clip what once seemed like...
Uh-oh. If this thief will steal anything that other people value, does that... Really?
Okay, the people have spoken. It's clear that the public are very concerned about the Phantom Weasel. Let's see, I've got a photo of the letter, my interview notes. Yep, that should be enough to form the skeleton of my article. It does feel like something is missing, though. Something exclusive. Who should I interview next? I need someone with a more concrete connection to the weasel. Is that who I think it is?
Lenny!
Magic, magician, Caesar! The Phantom Weasel! That's it! Let's go interview Lenny! You see, the original Phantom Thief Caesar was a magician too! And what do Phantom Thieves and magicians have in common? They both have an air of mystery about them. Perhaps there's a connection there.
Are you serious? What sort of a deduction is that?
Oh, relax! My journalistic instinct tells me that an exclusive news story is beckoning. Let's go! No time for delay!
No way! I'm not guessing.
Off we go!
Wow, Mr. Magician! How did you know which card I picked?
Oh, it's simple. Come closer, and I'll let you in on my secret. Magicians have a special skill called telepathy.
Really? Then, what am I thinking now?
Well, first you need to relax, because I can see that you're clenching your fist in your mind, as if to say, no, I mustn't let him guess it.
Aww.
And now you're getting a little flustered. You're trying to find a way to empty your mind, to think of nothing at all. But the more you try to hide a secret, the easier it'll come out. You snuck out from home today, didn't you? You told your family a little lie so you could come out and play. Now, that's not a good habit.
You can tell? Oh boy, you really can read my mind.
Of course. Oh, and that's the end of my performance. You should really be heading home. Remember to apologize to your family, all right? They must be worried about you.
All right, got it.
Hey, Lenny?
Why, hello. We meet again. Are you looking for me? What's the situation?
Well, why don't you guess, Mr. Telepathic?
Oh, please. You didn't believe that spiel, did you? The power of telepathy is quite beyond me.
I'm sure that child would beg to differ. Seemed like you were right on the money.
That was nothing more than a little trickery. I made an educated guess based on his micro-expressions. That, plus the fact that he was the only... You guys, on the other hand...
Wow, got it in one! Is this more of your trickery at work?
Wait, really? No trickery this time. It was pure luck. His warning letter's been the talk of the town, so I figured that maybe you were asking around about that.
Bingo! I plan on writing a column reporting on the latest news about the Phantom Weasel. So, Linny, what are your thoughts on this infamous thief's reappearance?
To be honest, it makes me angry.
Angry? Why?
You read his letter, right? The Phantom Weasel claims he's planning something in 3 nights' time at the Opera House. That's the night I'll be performing there.
Huh. What are the chances? Wait a minute, you don't think he's after you, do you?
Well, if he is, then his warning is clearly a direct challenge to me personally. And if he's not, then it's still going to be a huge headache for me. The mere mention of the Weasel's name is enough to scare people off. So once the contents of that letter get out, barely anyone will be showing up to watch my show. But I've been preparing for this for a long time. I'm not about to let him ruin my big day. This leaves me with only one choice. I have to expose the Phantom Weasel's identity before the show begins.
Really? So what you're saying is, we might get to see a live duel between a famous magician and an infamous thief? Wow, this has exclusive written all over it!
To be honest, I'm not sure if I'll emerge the victor. The Phantom Weasel is a notorious crook, infamous for his inscrutable methods.
You're being far too modest, Linny. I think your magic tricks are even more inscrutable than those of a thief.
Thanks for the compliment, though I have to say I don't care much for the comparison. A lot of people liken magicians to thieves because we both have the ability to make things disappear without the person noticing. But there's an important difference that these people overlook. Allow me to demonstrate with a quick magic trick. Here, I have a flower, just an ordinary flower that was picked not long ago. Watch it carefully now. 3, 2, 1.
It's gone!
That's the question. Where did it go? Therein lies the difference between us. Thieves make precious things disappear, but only magicians make them reappear. If I could now invite you all to check your clothes, there might be a surprise in there somewhere.
A surprise? Let me see! It's right there! But how? You haven't moved this whole time!
What an outstanding trick! Sorry, Linny, it seems that my previous praise was woefully inadequate. Clearly, magic is the superior art form to theft.
Don't worry, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to take the opportunity to perhaps change some of the preconceived notions you might have about magicians. Since Caesar's death...
I can imagine. For example, magicians often... But you use...
Impressive knowledge. It's no wonder you're such a successful journalist. It sounds like...
Well noted. Please feel free to... If there's nothing else, I'll be off.
So, Lenny, are you gonna tell us how you did that flower trick now?
I'm afraid that's my little secret.
Aww. Well, magicians are entitled to their secrets. But Paimon's really itching to know how it's done. You feel it too, right? So itchy!
Not so itchy then, huh? Well, since you're so concerned, how would you like to serve as my temporary magician's assistant?
Magician's assistants? Oh, that sounds fun! Assistants are technically magicians. Also, it'll bring us one step closer to figuring out how that darn trick is done. Shall we go for it?
Excellent. Thank you for putting your trust. The first thing we need to look into, but if he was, and if we're investigating, we should make a move.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Farina's decision. Maybe the thought... Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point.
You didn't need to.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after you left, the troop's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me.
Sorry. I was just dealing with a...
Sadly, it's a no...
I see. Well, you see, our...
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then. Yeah, she'd be livid.
Jeez.
Only joking, calm down. Despite the fact that we failed to complete...
Look, this is the last chance we have, so...
Yes, I share every one of us.
You're right.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on. Sure.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I've... All right.
Farina?
When you came to talk with me earlier, and all before... I'm sorry.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any...
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then... But in any case...
Yeah.
There's no need to... I was wondering if the difficulties are purely... Everyone seems...
Everything's been...
Her name was O'Reilly.
What?
That's actually how... But still, no sentiment.
She was a loyal fan of... She rallied many people, loved our...
And then disaster.
Yeah. None of us know any... It's agonizing.
Oh.
What a terrible waste. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show...
Yes, exactly.
Well, good thing
Farina...
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for my... I can, however, provide some but only...
Oh, most...
We unfortunately...
I don't need... Something I've begun to realize since my departure. The law only... What about all the unresolved... And take, par exemple...
So you just want to get back in on the action?
No. This is a...
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me?
Thank you all so much. Our director... All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space.
Need a surfboard? Off we go. Need a surfboard? Off we go. Off we go.
Lady Farina?
What's Lady Farina doing here?
Hello, all. These two over here are the ones that made it possible. You bet,
You helped bring our director.
Oh, please don't. So, you were saying the little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front. The protagonist of she longed to live just like any other human. But one day, her true identity...
So far, so good. A class...
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, we need a proper ending, so...
We still haven't decided between
By true to life.
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than... But then there's the question...
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. And one last thing. We're still waiting on... The first is Paulo, who plays the other is Vil. He did write to us.
Huh. Although, now that we...
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Our director was constantly singing your praises.
But one by one...
Makes sense. He went back to...
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors.
Yeah, maybe... Poisson. Nothing. I suppose my... So, allons-y. To Poisson! I told you today's our lucky day.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for...
Alright. Forget that for...
Nice try.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the... Even once he's done...
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity. So, you're here...
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here...
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now?
Things are on the mend.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we all have painful memories? But we don't have to... And if you're trying...
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good... But for now...
It's okay. Which brings me to avoid upsetting the piece. It's not a perfect solution.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navi.
Well, what do you Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Off we go then.
Let's take. I don't. I'm so grateful that Miss Nafia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, it's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But...
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the thing. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the...
I'm not surprised you're making yourself...
I can't let my...
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson.
Need a surfboard? Off we go. Need a surfboard?
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing. As I stand here by the ship, one after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives, they thought they're... And all the while. But then the floodwaters finally...
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only...
I've had to go. Eventually, fortunately, we were able... Everyone rose to their... But...
Paimon would have never imagined...
Reward? I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Farina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally...
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten it. I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to at least the... All right.
Sure. Okay, let's head back.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
come on. Anyway.
Are you kidding me right? I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to—
Oh no, looks like they're arguing. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were—
Me?
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Ocean.
That's right. He has some. If you become human.
Wait, that sounds kind—
It's the most important line in the She kept quiet. It was only after—
You mentioned earlier that the—
Yeah, I spent some— It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice, and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up.
She sounds like a—
She really was. I was a lost. The other kids were all. One day. Yeah. For the first time in my life.
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here.
Farina? The Farina? Oh my god.
Please.
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. Yes, the script, of course. Let me give... I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning. She finds love and the people start to know the little Ocean. In the end...
Consciousness?
Water as...
Since the little Ocean, it is her lover the little Ocean.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to...
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain?
Well, she...
Through her love for her human...
There's actually something else. You know the If we're serious...
That sounds like too...
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director... On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the... We waited, we looked for her. The Gardaman...
The director was the kind...
I've been trying to follow up...
Vilma?
Yeah.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a... Because... Well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aureli.
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. I did tell... She said that we were all like brothers. Not that it... I said, maybe... Well, maybe... And now... So if I'm the one...
We've all had our differences of...
Well, if that's...
Are you ready to face...
Honestly, I'm... Funny you should ask, though. You really...
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Hello...
the most important part of going out to have fun is, well, going out. So just show up and I'll handle the rest. Need a surfboard? Off we go.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Ugh, as if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Farina in a fight before.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be
Precisely! As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
Hey, lay off, all right? My bluff is hanging from a thread here. I'm sorry. I got carried away. Please help us out, would you?
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Farina.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Rise with the sun!
Carving wave!
Bring it! Burn it down! Try and stop me! Light of the blazing sun! Light it up!
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and up.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Farina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Viamant, avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Viamant. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame, but now I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. The Little Oceanid cannot be...
As you all know already, the troupe, we took on So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win. So I said yes to it on the spot. The drink in question was...
Isn't that the drink?
I freaked out, but she didn't the merchant. I was going to sort, but I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too...
Yeah,
Stay calm. How can... And he has the gall to try and high road us, claiming that he kept his mouth...
All I can say is I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back in my life.
Get out of my sight.
That's enough! Can you stop conflating the show on stage? You keep saying...
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the... But in her own... What she wants... I understand.
Yeah.
So think hard. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director O'Reilly and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like...
Of course she was.
I'm true.
It's all right.
So...
Clearly, the end of the story needs to focus...
What do you mean?
The Traveler is if you could find anything that O'Reilly left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on
No.
Well...
Come! Let the magic flame boil!
You took your time.
Sorry, I bumped into the Traveler and Charlotte en route, and we ended up chatting for a while.
It's been a while, Annette. We're working as Lenny's temporary assistants in the investigation of the Phantom Weasel.
Thank you. It's good
So, what's the situation?
Nope. I've been here a while, and she still hasn't shown up.
How bizarre. Well, we won't get any...
Hold on.
Excuse me, good sir. Do you by any chance know a Gemma?
Gemma? You mean Caesar's fiance? Sure I do. What's this about?
I'm just trying to get a hold of her because I need her help with something. I heard she comes here a lot.
Yeah, she does. Poor thing. It's no secret why either. She's heartsick. Ever since Caesar passed away, she's been... I asked her what she was doing. She knows he's gone and can't hear her from the grave.
She's been...
I'll bet. I don't know if I'm honest. I think this is all... Anyway, well, that's everything.
All right, well, thanks for sharing all of this.
You're welcome.
Did you hear the news? They're saying the Phantom Weasel's back.
You're kidding. Wait, isn't he dead?
I don't know anymore. All sorts of news flying around nowadays. I can never tell what's true and what isn't. But what if, just hypothetically, I mean, what if this weasel's the real deal and Caesar was framed?
Called it. Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, you know what? This guy's been set up. The Caesar I knew was a good guy. He gave balloons to children on the street, for Pete's sake. What, are we supposed to believe that he was a balloon thief or something? Give me a break.
Oh, please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced the news? You were all, oh, that gosh darn lousy son of a, you think you know a guy, or words to that effect.
Wait, did I say that? I don't seem to recall.
Hello there. Sorry for disturbing you. We're actually quite interested in this topic.
You've come to the right people. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a transparent balloon, only for a whole bunch of doves to fly. I was right up close.
I saw him perform too. He always used to bring some gifts along for the kids who came to watch his show, and he'd hand them out after he was done. Sometimes he even got the kid.
Huh. He doesn't sound like such a bad guy.
But after he died, there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was precious to people, with the intent to steal it later. As I'm sure you know, the Phantom Weasel would steal just about anything from anyone.
Whatever the case, now that the Weasel is back, Caesar's become a hot topic once more. I bet Gemma must... No, speak of the devil. That's her over there. If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
So that's Gemma. Is it just Paimon, or does it look like something's wrong? Wait, it looks like she's injured. Come on, let's see if she's okay. Hi there. You're Gemma, right?
Who's asking?
Don't be afraid. We mean no harm. It looks like you're injured. How bad is it?
Thanks for your concern, but you didn't answer my question. Who are you, and what do you want with me?
My name is Linny, and this is my sister Lynette.
My name's Paimon, and this here's the Traveler. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
The Weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If he's... You knew Caesar better than anyone else. I promise you can... Huh.
No.
Got it. All right. Sorry for disturbing you.
If you don't have any more questions, Please leave. I want to be alone with him.
That's fair. In any case, over here.
Lynette's not joining us?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods. Before long, I had to...
Lenny's Adventure Channel.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former Magic Maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no...
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy about Lenny stroking his ego.
I only agreed to meet...
Much obliged. Yesterday morning, I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure...
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the weasel...
Please, sir, no need to get...
Possibility, it's a fact. The weasel is dead. Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me. My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and
Your pride?
I want to find out the
What would that accomplish?
Uh-oh. This is getting awkward.
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is!
Another day, I'm busy.
Oh, come on! You can't be all business all the time. You know what they say?
If I wanted your...
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! Edmondo. He and I are business pals. We worked together a bunch of times. This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this. Foul-mouthed and hard-nosed. Never heard a kind word out of this guy the whole time I've known him. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite being, what, pushing 40, 30, something? Anyway, point is, a lot older than when he first got rejected by the girl he was into. And he's still into, from what I hear.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing business with me ever again. Do I make myself clear?
Sorry, I may have had a little too much...
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Lenny, be my guest. But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular fashion.
Totally. He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious.
I think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more closely. That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left. Let's see if we can catch up with him. You okay there?
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about. I say wait.
So he was.
Hey! Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions, or make an enemy out of them.
What kind of bad things?
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short. I'm not crossing that line again. And take it from me, trouble with Lorenzo is... That's not...
And there he goes.
Shh! Don't say anything and don't look back. You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid... Now, I'm not the strongest fighter.
Don't worry, we got...
Now disappear!
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else. Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who? You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Let's fly!
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and so you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why?
Sounds like the.
That's putting it mildly. It's been 10. How do I know?
I'm afraid because you see. I've heard that. Do you know where?
The Fluvus. I also know.
Understood.
Got it. But if I'm staying here...
I mean...
Okay.
When you lose your way, gaining some altitude can bring some perspective.
Take me up!
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first. There we go. It should be just down here.
was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
And voila!
Locked on!
Whoa. Look, the doll in the box is glowing. There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look. These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Take me up!
Got it. We're supposed to find the box that lit up at the start, right? There should be another wish list inside. Let's keep trying. That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe, hidden rooms. Aha! If I just...
A secret passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really looks pretty big inside.
Rise with the sun! Let's fly! Hear the echoes of the valley!
Now disappear!
Let's get this show on the road!
Why have you stopped, Lenny?
It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery...
All right. Seems like we can't step on the same tile twice. Guess we've got to finish it in one run, huh? thick as a brick! Let's...
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me. I wound up saving very little this. At one of my shows a few days ago, as a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer. I wound up saving. At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how, as a joke, I told the kid. So I told them another white. I wound up saving. At one of my shows, as a joke, so I wound up. It's nearly time. I once over. It's only been. They're very. They hide. That's the thing. I can sense after thinking. P.S. P.P.S. Oh, see. Two children came. Anyway, I told them that. It seems like something. Surely he's. I have a good. They have all sorts of fan. They wanted to call. With time. I have. Gemma thinks so too. At one of my shows a few days ago, a child. As a joke. So I told. I wound up saving. At one of my shows a few days. As a joke. So I told them another. I wound up. At one of my shows, as a joke, so I told them. I wound up saving very little this month. At one of my shows, as a joke, so I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the. I wound up saving.
Two magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny. So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Linny!
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you
All in good. First, the magician slots them at this point. Meanwhile, oh no!
Very vivid.
The audience is gay. Of course, that's just how I think. The inventor of this trick never. He fell right to the ground, and no one else has.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape. Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in Wait a second.
Glad you asked. This box right here is the one that sees once the magician's inside, and the box is lifted up and from where they're standing. At this point, he then escapes through this trapdoor on.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined.
Well, there's a little more to. There's the falling dummy. Many days and Caesar was a.
So
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files.
Okay.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. But the essence of magic. And so, but in his most stressful and exactly, I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been, but I'm sure he... So he opened the compartment, much like when you reach instinctively, with the stakes being as high as they were.
When in reality, but how
It would have to have been... Isn't that right?
You just couldn't. There's not a lot of people, but I gave you.
You mean Gemma?
Yes, although how... Which is why you can't leave this...
And voila! Wrath from the skies!
Now disappear! Here comes the finale! Had enough yet, Lorraine? I think it's high time.
If I had a Mora for every He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who...
So it was...
Jealousy. He poured everything into his... But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work. He forbade me, and with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, I had to kill.
And this was your...
It was reason...
Well, I was under...
In love with Gemma.
Guess I was wrong about...
I am. Caesar was... I never bought into any of that.
Oh, yeah!
That's just how it looked. I stole cheap.
So, that's the...
What choice do I... So be it.
Very well. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorraine.
Lily has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Good point. We should go tell Gemma the good news right away. It'll give her some peace of mind for sure.
you're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now, but try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of course!
Gosh, I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but
It's okay, but you don't need to be...
I always wanted... I was so... Thank you all.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the... and to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
If only I'd realized.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. This show will be a special one.
In Caesar's honor.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon, don't be late.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna... Wait. Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Linny and Lynette or not.
Try and stop me! Bring it! Take me up!
Paimon's excited to see another of Linny's magic shows!
Not this time. So, I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies, and the great magician Linny has prepared a spectacular show.
Thank you all so...
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just...
No wonder. So, how did you...
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, it was with... I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before.
Oh, that's so cute.
Is that right, after all?
That's right.
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy.
See? Even on the Phantom Weasel, Lorenzo escaped. Where is he?
As Lenny once, but once the bag of it's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow?
What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't like this riddle. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places. Don't worry, this place will be...
Let's fly.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid this is a big mistake for a magician to make.
Lenny? Lynette accused Gemma of being...
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing.
Really? Well then, let's hear it.
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorized. But as her infamy grew, so, of course... After weighing her options...
So, being the master deceiver she was, the Weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. But, as she was at her encouragement afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the Weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
But I just have...
Don't worry, but I never believed that he was the Weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more...
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable. Caesar was maligned and hated. Who would suspect for 1 second that the love...
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in on it? But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the Weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But...
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting...
As a matter of fact, why would the real...
Of course, if I had to... Left to fend for herself after her parents died young, she'd scrounge... This was her own... Once again. This was a fate too cruel for it. I detest... I will rob the...
That's some
Does this story satisfy?
Yes, it is quite to my taste.
Huh. 'Cause without that...
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. Linny. Or should I call you the...
Very sharp. Well, no, the most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it?
Of course we did.
10 years? Wait. Oh, I get. He taught you magic.
We remember all 10 years ago, but we...
And? What exactly?
Free? Caesar once I think that applies... Life took me...
What are you trying...
I'm saying that for the last... Back to Lorenzo for a... He knew who... You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods. I do hope you'll be able to bear it. You've still got a long life ahead of you after all.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing... I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well, wonder no more, for the answer is a death-defying high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician, but we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but...
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever? You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So, what do we,
Like Lenny said,
But what about Gemma?
she'll figure out what's best.
All right. Well...
Thank you for completing today's commitment.